Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a review on the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. I know the All Nighter Concealer was just announced and it's going to be releasing soon, if not it's already been released. But I've only got to try this foundation out recently and I'm very late on the bandwagon. I know, I think this foundation came out last year and it was pretty hyped up when it came out, so better late than never, right? So if you guys want to hear my opinion on this foundation, then just continue watching. Okay, so before we even get started, I want to give you guys some product info. This is $72 New Zealand dollars. It has 1 fluid ounce, which is a pretty standard size for a foundation. I got mine in the shade 4.0. This foundation does come with a pump, which I think all foundations should come with a pump. It's very useful. I do like the packaging. It's very lightweight. It's not heavy. You would think it would be a bit heavy, but it's really not. It's very lightweight. And I also like how you can actually see the foundation shade inside and you can actually see how much you are using. But yeah, I want to read some claims to you, what this foundation claims to do. So a full coverage foundation, it's long wearing, has a matte finish, it's waterproof and also oil free. So to get started my review, I'm going to talk about this product overall and then I will go into pros and cons and then I'll give you guys like my final rating and then you guys can get the general feel of how I feel about this foundation. So to get started, this foundation, it's quite liquidy if you're talking about the consistency. As you can see, it's like running down my hand. It's not a thick foundation or anything like that. And also when you are applying it to the face, it almost feels like it's a liquid to powder finish. I don't know if it's just because it's a very matte finish. That's just what I see. I like to apply mine with a beauty blender. I did try it with a brush, but I felt like the brush made it a little bit more cakey because this foundation is actually very full coverage. I'm wearing it today obviously, but it's a very full coverage. I feel like the brush makes it look more heavier, more cakier, and it's not necessary. You can get a full coverage look with just using a beauty sponge. And also a lot of people were saying that this foundation oxidizes on them. For me personally, I don't see that happening, but I mean, if you want to keep that in mind. So let's talk about the cons because I want to get the negative out of the way first and then we can end this video on a good note. There aren't really too many cons about this foundation, to be honest. Like overall, I'm really happy with this foundation. So the first con and the biggest con to me personally is the shade range. So I got the shade 4 and I did go into the store to try it out and like, you know, try to shade match myself, but I found that there weren't many shades that were leaning towards me. I think on camera, I feel like almost every single foundation on camera looks pretty decent, but in person I do think this is a touch too light. I feel like they could improve on it a little bit more. Another con, it's not really a big con honestly. Every time I try a new foundation out, I'll always ask my boyfriend what he thinks. He just said it looks a little bit too matte. That might be a con to some of you guys, but for me, I mean, I love looking matte. Just using a highlighter matte base, that is like my go-to skin. So to me, that's not really a con, but I mean, he did say it's a little bit too matte. In saying that, I also agree that this probably won't be ideal for people with dry skin. I don't know, I just feel like dry people wouldn't really like this one as much just because this is for more oilier girls that want more control with their oils. But in saying that as well, I heard Kathleen Lights really likes this foundation as well and she has dry skin. Like everybody knows she has dry skin, so. And yeah, that is honestly all the cons I have. They're really not huge cons, but they are still cons at the end of the day. So moving on to the pros. The first pro is obviously that it's very matte. It's a very matte base off the bat. Once you blend it into your skin, you are matte and I love that. I love having a matte base. If you're looking for a dewy foundation, then you might as well click away right now because this is not it for you. It just has a very matte base and it's a very long wearing matte foundation. One day I was wearing it for like almost 12 hours and it looked good. It was still really matte and my bronzer and everything was still on the skin. It looked like how it looked in the morning when I first applied it. So this foundation is very long wearing. I did get oily around my nose area, but that's the first place where I start getting oily is like my nose. My nose gets like really shiny. The finish of it, it doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look heavy. That's if you use a beauty blender. If you were to use a brush, it does look a bit heavy. but the coverage is like so amazing. I only use one pump and I still have a little bit left over, and I got a big ass face, you know, like the bigger face you have, you need more coverage. So yeah, this foundation does everything that I want it to do. When I set it, it doesn't move, my bronzer goes on smoothly, everything like that. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you guys would know that I love the Vanish Stick foundation. I rave about this foundation so much. Like, I love the Vanish Stick. Their all-nighter comes a very close second place, but Hourglass is still my favorite all-time foundation. I just think this looks just so good on the skin. I like how the all-nighter looks on my skin as well, but the Hourglass one, it just makes you look so smooth, like so airbrushed. The Vanish Stick one is like more of a medium to full coverage. You can build it up to what you want, and I think for everyday wear, this is like my kind of foundation. So overall, if I had to rate this foundation, I probably would give it a 9 out of 10. I love how it matte it keeps me. I love how long wearing it is. I love the finish on my skin. I love that it's full coverage. You don't need to build this up and it doesn't look cakey. A lot of full coverage foundations are a lot more heavier on the skin and you can tell, and it looks heavier, but this one is full coverage and it doesn't look heavy. The reason why it probably wouldn't be a 10 is just that, you know, the shade range. Like, I know this shade does not match me as well as the Hourglass one does, so I think Urban Decay could work on this shade range, but other than that, 9 out of 10. So that is pretty much it for my review for today. I hope you guys did find this video helpful, even though this foundation is a little bit older and they are releasing a concealer, so I'm not sure if anybody would want to hear my opinion on this, but if you did find this video helpful, please give this video a thumbs up for me, and also comment down below your thoughts on this foundation. If you already have it, what do you guys think of it? And also I want to know what other foundations you guys think I should try out after hearing me talk about my wants in a foundation. What foundation out there do you think I should get? Keep in mind, I am cruelty-free, so I can't try every single foundation out on the market, so any cruelty-free foundation that you think I will like, please let me know in the comments down below. I love trying new foundations out. That is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!